This is Betstars and Stripes with Dr. Turf, Ed Wyatt and Alice Gander.
Betstars and Stripes on this Sunday night on 11:16 SEN. A couple of substitutions tonight, which we'll bring you in just a moment. But a reminder, of course, talking all things US sport, thanks to the wonderful crew at Betstar. Been very popular, the double fixed odds over the course of the Spring Carnival. And there is still another chance with the Railway and Winterbottom Stakes in Perth from 11 a.m. on race day. That is next weekend. So for those double fixed odds, Betstar offering the best promo in the business. So why would you bet anywhere else? Bet with Betstar at betstar.com.au. We'll welcome Alice Gander, our regular panellist, and Al, as a Lakers fan, I guess we'll get your thoughts in just a moment on all of that. But did notice the Betstar Pro-Am during the week. Saw Big Viv in town, and can he play golf?
He can play golf. Thank you, Darren. It's good to be in. He can play golf. He was a bit rusty off the first couple of holes, but his hand-eye is absolutely extraordinary. His swing is actually ugly. Not that mine's any good, but his swing is actually ugly. But he gets that club back to the ball amazingly, and he's 60 years old and in fantastic condition.
They asked him if he would, if the Melbourne Stars are in trouble, if he'd wander out there, and he said he would, and I reckon he was probably serious too. I reckon if you asked him genuinely, he would probably do that. We'll also welcome the rest of our panel. Craig Hutchison joins us. Hutchie, nice to have you with us tonight, filling in for Dr. Turf.
Yeah, gave the good doc a night off, Dash.
We
nice
did.
To see you. Nice to see you at the Prince of Middle Park, El Pal. Hope the private dinner went well last night. When half
It was very good.
Australia's chef world came to your house to cook privately. But the word went round that the $2 lines were on the table, so
yep.
I thought I'd better come in and get a piece of the Betstar action tonight, because that's a fairly decent. How long are you going to run this for?
We've been running it all season, Hutchie, and we're going to continue running it. I think it's in round 13. We're going to run $2 favourites, so the even money lines are a fantastic promo, and the Betstar members love it. But the even money favourites, we get knocked off the stand. They go crazy. So wait till round 13. Well, don't wait till round 13, but in round 13, we'll have even money faves on the whole round for NFL.
Well, I'm no expert, Das. Let me put that on the table. But I love my NFL. Watch it religiously. I'll be up at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, and I reckon it's a good betting round for the punters. So we'll get involved in that at Betstar shortly, and an amazing day of college football.
Yep.
So I might just touch on that later on. But the two big upsets today with Kansas and also Oregon going down, just unprecedented. Both unbeaten teams.
Probably known a lot on SEN as Mr. Super Bowl as well. Always out there in the action on the day. But those $2 power lines on every NFL game every Sunday at 4 p.m. Teo Palazzeri, our regular studio guest for the All Night Appetite Sports Overdrive and Betstars and Stripes. Teo, nice to have you with us again tonight.
Great to be in. Sorry I couldn't be Ed White, but fantastic weekend of NFL coming up, and a lot of teams, if they lose this weekend, season over. So that's why it is going to be a very interesting round for all the underdogs this weekend.
The Lakers close to your heart, Al. Mike D'Antoni, good decision. Obviously, Phil Jackson's demands probably a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think you couldn't accept Phil Jackson with the deal that he wanted to put on the table. You just can't have a coach in any form of sport, but particularly an 82-game season, where he sits there and says, I'll travel to these following games, I'll be involved in these kind of decisions that are outside the normal jurisdiction of a coach. He's probably the greatest coach of all time. He's won 11 championship rings and a superstar. There's no doubt about that. But you either have him or you don't have him. And on the basis they're only going to have half of him, I think it was the right decision to move away from him.
Well, as a point guard yourself, Al, on a Monday night down at Albert Park, this is a big win for Steve Nash. And I just wonder whether it was as much about his demands and the travel, which I'm sure would have probably grated on them a little bit. But you've been playing basketball for 30 years. I'm just a very much distant observer. But if the Princeton offense, as they were calling it under the previous coach, Mike Brown, didn't work because it was laborious and structured and all those things that don't work, then surely the triangle offense, which Phil Jackson insists on, wasn't going to suit Nash, and it probably wasn't going to suit Pau Gasol as well, and maybe to a limited extent Howard. Already we've seen flickers of it in the weekend games, and before he takes charge officially tomorrow, but they're playing under his structure already.
Yep.
And Nash was a superstar at Phoenix under this quick, fast-tempo, showtime offense. Howard will bloom into it. Surely it was much about the cattle that they had as opposed to the philosophies, do you think?
Yeah, and I absolutely agree with that. And I think particularly because I think the Lakers' challenge is going to be finding enough ball for Steve Nash, Kobe Bryant, Howard, and you've got Gasol who can play the game as well. So finding enough ball for everyone on the court. And D'Antoni's strength is his offensive strategy.
7 seconds or less, isn't it? You got the ball 7 seconds inside the. Unlike your team at Albert Park, which sort of goes about a minute 20.
Yeah. But they needed someone who's going to be an offensive genius in order to be able to coordinate an offense that was going to get enough ball to all the players on that team, and that's his strength. And I think probably the Laker head honchos there were sitting there thinking, you know what, we need someone with the brain capacity to be able to make this work.
What about the negotiating tactics of Phil Jackson? Do you think he genuinely thought he would ever be a chance of landing the job saying, I want to do what the Spurs did last year and sit the games and stay at home for the ones where I'm not needed? Or do you think that was maybe his way of saying, I want to look interested and stay popular with the fans, but by the same token give you something that's impossible for you to hire me under?
You reckon it was a bit of foxing? Yeah, I don't know about that, Tail. I mean, I just think he genuinely, and maybe rightly so, he genuinely thought, I am the man.
He thought, I can't get beat.
No, exactly.
And if you won 11, you're probably entitled to half think that about yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't see D'Antoni. He would have, in his head, he would have gone, Mike D'Antoni, he's never won. He was in New York. He blew it up there. But clearly, Mitch, the general manager, saw quite clearly that the up-tempo offense was needed, and the Phil system and the structure. And I guess they could afford to punt a bit on offense, couldn't they? Because they've got two great defensive players, Ron Artest, or World Peace, Meta World Peace as he's now known, and Dwight Howard. It's enough to get you by defensively, isn't it?
Yeah, agreed. I mean, coming back to your point, I mean, Phil Jackson, I think, was sitting there thinking to himself, I can't get beat. And D'Antoni was amazing. We've got some audio which we'll play in a second. But D'Antoni was amazed that he got the job as well. We'll listen to the audio now.
Well, first of all, I understand exactly. Are you kidding me? I was surprised. I mean, in the sense of... it seemed a natural fit or whatever, but you never know, what happens and what goes on. So I'm not here to judge one way or the other. I know he's a great coach, has been, will be, the best, one of the best, if not the best. So yeah, I can understand that. I've got some really close friends that are Laker fans, and they were disappointed. But that's just the way it goes, and. I'm going to do everything that I can do to win a championship, and knowing that if we're not least in the hunt, a serious hunt, then I failed as a coach, or we just didn't get it done.
And thank you to ESPN for that grab.
How would you be if you had close friends of yours that were Laker fans that were disappointed when you got the job?
He's having been in New York during his whole era there, and I probably went to his press conferences 20 or 30 times and interviewed him 5 or 6 times, just mainly for fun. He's a ripping guy, Mike D'Antoni. He's always having a laugh and upbeat and positive. He's passionate on the court, and he breathes fire when it gets going, but he's a terrific guy. There's politics too, Tal. I mean, Phil Jackson's got a dysfunctional relationship with the LA Lakers. I mean, for one, he dates the daughter of the owner. Yeah. I mean, that's an abnormal thing in itself, and doesn't talk to the owner, the father. Like, he's been dating and is in a very happy relationship with...
How old is she, out of curiosity?
She's, I think, mid-50s, and the sister of the president. So it's a very weird setup, and they didn't talk for his whole last year. And the basketball decision won in the end.
If D'Antoni can take the heat of New York and be sacked in New York and still be, very honest with the way we've heard him talk there, does this mean that there's any situation in which LA could crush him, or will he just take it in his stride given what he's already gone through in coaching?
Well, New York's the toughest market, no doubt, and LA the second toughest. But if you can survive the New York media, which he did pretty much unscathed, the players turned on him towards the end, but it was only because his structure didn't fit the cattle they had there, and he's wedded to that quick, fast tempo offense. I'm fascinated by it, and for the Betstar punters out there, now's the time to buy the Lakers to win their division and to win the championship, because realistically, what are they, 4-6 or 4-5? 4-5. I mean, they're going to get better very quickly. Yep. They've got a stretch of home games still to come, another 3 to come now.
They're going to get better naturally as well, even without the coach, because they're a team that's just got together. So just playing time will get them together, irrespective of the coach. Now,
Nash has got another week out, they say, at least, maybe another 2 or 3. So they're not going to be outstanding for next month, but I don't think that, and the market will move globally, but Betstars where you get on, I don't think they'll be much better odds than they are now, Alan. Probably if you like them or if you've got an interest in them, now's your time to start investing long term in them.
Well, from the beginning of the season, I reckon they're about $4 at the beginning of the season. They're out to $5. Hasn't been an enormous drift, but they definitely have got out to $5.
That's very good value.
And that's the biggest price they've been since they announced Howard, Nash, Kobe, Gasol all in the starting lineup.
Because Miami are going to be there. And you'd suspect that Oklahoma City are going to be there. So you would think that there's probably just the 3 teams that can win it, I reckon. And $5 is about, I reckon, is you'll have a good time with it on the way.
Well, you got Miami into $2.85 now. They're favourite. Lakers are at $5. Oklahoma's drifted as well. They've been $5 out to $6.
So we're at Memphis.
And then you got $13 or greater San Antonio, and then Memphis are 21 into 17.
Okay. 8 in a row for Memphis after losing their first game. So only them and the Knicks.
The other one. I mean, the Knicks probably can't win it, but they are going to really shake the life out of this competition. They really haven't had. I mean, Stoudemire is not back yet. He hasn't played. There's an argument to say that he's probably maybe not that much better to them in the side. It was their first player they got under free agency as a franchise player, and now his structure's questionable. They've started so well. Smith's fit now, Taylor off the bench. It's the best six man in the game at the moment, and I kind of think that they can be really competitive.
They're $21 to win. Imagine what price they'd be if Carmelo actually played defence. It'd be an extraordinary team.
Yep.
An extraordinary team.
Off the SMS, Max says Memphis are a brilliant side, and Jason from Mitcham says now's the time to just back overs in all Lakers games.
Just back the overs because it's going to be
overs.
so offensively dominant. So that's the other
Given
interesting
they would have
thing.
adjusted the lines. Yeah.
So D'Antoni's come out and said it's going to be a very offensive kind of game. I mean, history has told us, and all the great coaches have always said, championships are won by defense. Defense wins championships, like in most sports. So it's going to be really interesting. He's bringing a very different philosophy and a very different culture to the Lakers. It'll be interesting.
His quote was, we're not scoring 110 to 115 a game. Guys, we need to talk. And that's his first thing he said when he walked in the place. Generally in the playoffs, Al, you know better than me, they say the game slows right down and it's half-court basketball, and so that'll be interesting to see how long the scoring spree can continue.
And your shooting percentages get like a little bit worse. Like all of a sudden, if you're shooting at the 38% from the 3-point line, you're probably going to shoot at 35 over the playoffs. Everyone just gets a little bit tighter, becomes a little bit more challenging during playoff times, unless you're Michael Jordan and somehow you improve.
How long do you think the fans will be seduced by the scoring, though? I mean, what are the chances of D'Antoni actually seeing out his 3-year contract if they don't win a championship this year?
No, they'll have to win one this year or next, otherwise he's gone. He's cooked.
Yep.
I think if they finish top 2, top 3 this year, we'll get another chance at it. But he's got a 3-year deal. But if he doesn't win one in the first 2 years, no chance of being there.
And he's very frank about it. He said that in his clip. He basically said, I mean, he can bring whatever structure he wants. They've got to win games and win championships. And he basically said, if I do it, fantastic. If I don't, I know I'll get shown the door.
Last one for the punters. I reckon the LA Clippers are a terrific betting team. Just stay with them, back them on the line as much as you can at Betstar. They always give you a run for your money. They're a good quality team. They're on the rise. They're getting better, and I think they'll make more lines than they don't.
And they're 3 games ahead of their crosstown rivals at the moment. Just one final SMS, 0433 98 11 16 on the NBA here. Jim says Stoudemire will be nothing but disruptive when he comes back in. Must come off the bench. Do you agree, boys, for the Knicks?
Yeah, he's one of those volatile players, isn't it? Was it last year or the year before he put his fist through a glass window or something like that back in
fire hydrant?
Fire hydrant, that was it, and cost himself cost his team the playoffs. I think they were in the playoffs and couldn't play, but he's temperamental. I mean, at his best, he's obviously an asset to the team, but at his worst, he's definitely a liability.
Lives one block from me lives one block from the place I have in New York where I spend a lot of time. He lives about 80 metres away. His house is 15, 20 times as good as mine. Pays $35,000 rent a month. Swans around the West Village with his designer clothes on, and
revolving door at the front to walk in, like revolving door.
But he spends a lot of money. Like he's really lives life in the fast lane. My point is, the $110 odd million that he earns over 6 years, he'd need to start living up to that. He's injury prone. And I think our feedback off the text is pretty accurate. He'll need to work his way back into that team. Won't be a given.
Keep your SMSs coming through, 0433 98 11 16. We do have to get a quick breakaway. A little bit of NFL to come after this, but also, of course, thanks to the wonderful crew at Betstar, we have got the Game Pass, which is either NFL or NBA, depending on your choice now that both seasons are underway. And it's the Who Am I question. How would you rate the degree of difficulty for us this evening?
Very simple, surely.
Simple?
Yeah, very, very simple.
There have been some sitters lately.
In fact, you know what?
Yeah.
The person's name's already been mentioned in the first 10 minutes of the show.
Okay, so if you've been listening closely for the last 15 minutes, you'll have the answer somewhere in your mind. We need the first 2 callers, 9429 11 16. First 2 callers to talk to Timmy out the back. We'll put you through. You can go head-to-head in Al's Who Am I quiz to win yourself a Game Pass thanks to the wonderful crew at Betstars for either the NFL or the NBA. It's a magnificent value. You can archive,
it's
obviously,
the best
all your
giveaway
games
on Australian radio right now. It's unbelievable, the Game Pass.
And as soon as you watch them,